Bare naked, bare naked, bare naked, ABCs. Welcome to the Bare Naked ABCs, where we discuss every single Bare Naked Lady song from 7 to Y. Everywhere that she goes is an internal dynamo. Welcome, Betsy.
Yo, thanks.
You wouldn't like it when he's funky. Hello, Aaron.
Heyo. I'm always funky.
Funky
And
cold
someone's in
Medina.
the kitchen with Heidi, and that guest is tonight Tyler Boudreau.
Hey,
Tyler!
I was hoping I was going to be above the Sea of Cortez.
You shine down on all of us.
Other lights, yes.
And tonight we are discussing the song Internal Dynamo. Heidi is having fun with her screen.
This is awesome. I'm having fun with the new emoji effects that they've added to Zoom.
Not
This is
discussing
gonna
the
be
song
really
Zoom. We're
cool.
discussing Internal Dynamo tonight.
Whoa.
Well, I could discuss this one because this is kind of where I'm at. No, I'm just kidding.
If you-
I just can't respond to everything tonight.
no.
with
That was chocolate
emojis.
ice cream.
For the listener at home, Heidi
Hey
played
guys,
the poop
if you had like
emoji.
a whole bunch of emojis, like a pile of
That was
emojis, would
chocolate
that
ice
be
cream.
an
Right.
emoji heap? What you say?
Imogen
Imogen
Heap.
Heap, we know you
Wow,
listen to
that's a big pull. Deep pull.
I see what you did there.
Deep,
I
strong
see what
pull.
you done. I see what you done. You done that.
Wow.
Okay.
My people.
So if you have never heard Internal Dynamo before, here is a quick snippet.
Everywhere she goes, an internal dynamo. Everything she knows, an internal dynamo.
Now, guys, do you have
Use
any
like 30
recommendations
seconds
on what I use
of
for
the
this
A section
snippet?
and
'Cause
30
there-
seconds
I
of the
mean,
B section, or 15 to 15.
what
or
30
whatever.
seconds?
Yeah, towards the end of
Is
Yeah.
someone deflating a
Yeah,
balloon
maybe
in the
if there's a
background?
good transition moment when it goes from the Kevin part to the rock part.
Okay, we'll try that. Yeah,
Help.
this was the last song on Detour DeForce, written by Kevin specifically, but performed by Kevin and Tyler.
Tyler?
And
Not me.
not
Aw.
that Tyler.
I bet you could crank it out.
Oh wow, that would have been
I want to hear Tyler play this
What are
song.
you doing, Aaron?
I can grab the ukulele, but I don't know if the chords are going to line up here.
It'll be beautiful.
And did you guys know that there's a radio edit of this song?
Did you know that I
No.
didn't know? No.
Do you know what you do not know?
There is a radio edit of this song. First of all, I don't know why they need a radio
Is
edit.
there a
It wasn't
button?
like this was something that they released, like on a single or something. So, but yeah, there's a radio edit of this song, which is only about 30 seconds shorter.
This got all the F bombs.
And yeah, exactly. What they had, I
Jesus.
can
I would imagine
share
they'll
screen.
trim a little bit off of the front and back mostly.
No, they didn't trim any off the
Little
back.
off the
It is
sides.
just
Nice,
off
Aaron.
the
Nice, Aaron.
So here is the parts that they pulled out. You can see if I show this screen, you can see these two markings down here on the bottom are the parts of the original that they cut out to make them exactly the same song. For the audience, I will play those sections. So those are the pieces of this that they removed for the radio edit. But I mean, I'm not
Who's playing this on the radio?
Somebody
exactly
told
this.
them that the muted trumpet was not cool with the kids, and I disagree. It's very cool with the jazz college kids.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, but who is really putting this on the radio?
It's not
I
per-
would
I
have
would.
played this song on the
Yeah,
radio
same.
in my college days,
Yeah,
but that was
same.
4 years ago.
Well, would you have needed a radio?
Definitely
edit
4
on it?
years
Yeah,
for me, for sure.
4. Sounds right.
Team.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, I
Yeah, don't need the radio edit.
just don't. I don't see the
Who
purpose
needs
of it.
it? $19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
Aaron, you did mention the trumpets, or someone mentioned the trumpets.
Yes, there's a
Trumpet.
muted trumpet.
We have Michael Ray on the trumpets. We have Hugh
nice.
Marsh on the violins, and Eric Ratz
Very nice.
is doing the loops.
Loop-de-loops.
Okay.
So, that's what I have in terms of breaking down the pieces of the music that I could find. Aaron and Heidi, would you like to do a further breakdown?
Sure.
You go right ahead.
I was going to
Aaron.
say, I'm going to lean on you pretty heavily, Heidi. I'll tell you.
Oh, please don't.
Well, here, okay. Funny story. This has been one of those weeks that I've been extraordinarily busy, and I thought, you know what? In one of the newer songs, it's going to be 4 chords and it's going to be country pop rock. I can knock this out in an hour. No
Oh
problem.
no.
Tracy didn't warn me it was a Kevin song. So here's what I got.
I tried to play it in the car the other day, and you told me no.
I got about 90 beats per minute. Is that what you have? I have 89
yeah.
beats
So
per minute.
89 beats per minute exactly in the first section. And the second section, I said
then-
about 183, but it's loosey goosey. It's not because they have like loops
Yeah,
in the
it
first
is.
section, but it's a little more freestyle the second section. So that aligns with what you have.
Yeah, that aligns.
Now,
With
as far as
keys.
the melodic and harmonic structure, I said the first section was in D Dorian. My initial
yeah, that
instinct
makes
was D
sense.
minor, but I'm gonna say D Dorian because we do hear both B natural and B flat in this song. But I think the qualities of the chords, for instance, we get E minor rather than E diminished, do tend to imply that it's in the key of D or the mode of D Dorian. As far as the second section goes, I'm not as confident, but I would be inclined to think we might actually be in E Dorian. I think they took the classic idea of moving up a whole step for a modulation or a key change, but they kept it in Dorian, so it preserves that somewhat bittersweet. Sorry, I got a message from. Do you want me to read that? I think you should be proud of that. You should own that.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Tyler said it's a timepiece. It's indeed DeLorean. Which, I love that. Christopher Lloyd, we know you listen, come on the show. But yeah, so I think that the second section is very possibly in E Dorian. I was listening for that raised sixth, which is sort of your giveaway, which in this case would be C sharp. We do hear it in A major being played in a heavier B section. So I'm going to say section 1, 89 beats per minute, D Dorian. Section 2, about 183 beats per minute. And in E Dorian. Would you concur, Heidi?
I concur with all of that, actually. I think you're right on the D Dorian because, it's got that jazz center feel
for sure.
to it, and that makes total sense for that. And for those of you that don't recall, because Aaron and I have not discussed what a D Dorian mode is, it's similar to a scale, but it is not a scale. It's kind of like calling a baritone horn a euphonium for you music geeks out there. They kind of are the same, but they're not.
Yeah, it
Right,
would be
Aaron?
it would be
Right.
like basically playing if you take the C major scale, but you played all of those notes starting on D. So instead of C to C, you play D to D, which actually
Right,
changes
but-
the distance between
Right.
every note.
And you don't change anything in D Dorian because it is kind of based, it is a minor sounding mode, but instead of like with a D major scale, friends, you would have D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Where in D Dorian, you're D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Boom.
Wait, so I think I understand this. So a normal
Yay!
scale is whole, half, whole, half.
You got it.
Yes.
But
Precisely.
a Dorian just adjusts that up one, so it's whole, half, whole, half,
Yes.
whole.
Yes, exactly.
And
Precisely.
each mode is different. So in like if you then started like E, which would be Aaron.
So are we talking about which mode
If you
E
start
would
on
be?
the third degree of the scale,
Oh, is it
would
is
be
it Phrygian? I can't remember now. I'm putting you on the spot.
wait.
No,
It's
Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian,
I don't
Mixolydian,
Phrygian. I don't particularly
Aeolian,
like
Locrian.
Ooh, Aeolis.
right.
Okay,
Like learning
Phrygian's kind of weird.
Aeolian about
I'm a resident Aeolian.
Nice.
I see what
My
you did.
favorite
But
sauce
yes,
is
Tyler,
Aeolian.
you are absolutely right. Star of the day, who will it be? Tyler. You won.
I'm excited for Aeolian Romulus coming out this summer.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be a kick-ass
Well,
name for a Star Trek
I
movie.
do
You are
love
right.
Aeolian, since Aeolian is essentially the same thing as a natural minor scale.
Yes.
So
The
true.
relative minor. So a Aeolian is this is or rather, sorry, it would be a Aeolian would be a Aeolian is playing the C major and the same notes of the C major scale, but because you're starting on A and ending on A, it becomes a natural minor scale because the intervals that comprise it, which Tyler was referencing earlier, in a major scale, whole, half, whole, half. Because of the way that the notes are arranged and the order in which the chords are played, they take on different qualities. So that's
So is Aeolian, is that a Fonzie thing? Like Aeolian.
Hey. Hey.
Aeolian. How's it going?
It's Mayo based, right?
Mayolean.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway.
Well, that was fun.
Here's Wonder Wheel.
I do like a little bit of music theory because I'm one of those people that knows just a little bit about everything. So
A Renaissance man.
I know enough to have the conversation, but not enough to understand the conversation.
Yeah, I think that's where I am too.
Dorian is actually very commonly used in rock, especially bands who like to go just a little outside the norm. You hear it in, I believe, I want to say Mad World.
Ooh, that's a good one.
By Tears for Fears, as well as Wonderwall. Actually, we just made a Wonderwall joke. That's a very classic kind of Dorian.
Do they use it in the song
chord
Superman that they
progression.
play on Scrubs?
Oh yeah, John Dorian.
They should. I'm trying to think now.
I don't think so.
I don't think they do. It'd be nice,
Dorian
though.
Gray.
That we
Gray.
scrub the
Man.
conversation and try to get back to the music of this song.
Ew.
Nice.
Did you hear the meows of those cats that Tracy's trying to hurt?
I really like the trumpet.
I was just listening to
heard
cats.
in the background throughout this song.
Yes, the
Yeah.
muted trumpet's very cool. Very cool sound. It's got that kind of.
If I could comment there, I believe it closed, but I just went to see the immersive theater experience Sleep No More.
Ooh. Oh my! I love Sleep No More. Did it close?
I believe
seen
it
it
just did
twice.
in New York, which is why I went to see it. And
The same troupe is doing a new one, so that would make sense if they're replacing it.
it is very much giving like spooky atmospheric 40s.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. If you're a fan of the game BioShock, it's the closest thing I've ever experienced to being in that game. It's got that real Art Deco with a real gothic, sinister undertone feel to it.
But the beginning of this song, it's very much doing like a Pink Floyd thing.
Yes, I had that in my notes. It sounds like the beginning of Wish You Were Here or something.
but then it kicks into a melody which is a little bit more prog
I was thinking
sounding,
like Japanese
Mm.
kind
as
of
Kevin
feel.
is wont to do.
You weren't thinking Czech. You weren't thinking frog.
Prog rock.
No, I totally agree. I mean, it's got a very prog rock, art rock feel, especially in that first section. And then that's what makes it so interesting. It's very dynamic in that it changes from that to like kind of like Rage Against the Machine if they were a hair metal band in the B section.
My thought was they were able to do the Turn Blue 2014 era Black Keys and the hard rock, blues rock Black Keys in the same song.
Yeah, I could kind of hear that for sure. I mean, as far as the quality of the music goes, the intro is over a minute long and it's very spacey. It could have like Tyler said, been in a Pink Floyd song. We hear a theremin, which of course made me happy. I really dig the bluesy.
I love a theremin. I
Yeah.
want one so badly.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of being able to play one on a song that my friend was recording, and it was so much fun.
There's a piece of music that I often do when I guest conduct middle school band festivals, and it's by an amazing composer named Erica Svano, and it's called The Haunted Carousel, and it
Oh, nice.
includes a theremin part. However, because I've never been able to get my hands on one, I'm always looking for one. There's an iPad GarageBand setting that comes similarly close that we pump through a speaker, but the kids go bananas for it. Bananas, but I want one.
Go
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
go bananas.
Yeah.
I listened to this song on my analog stereo because I'm on the r/audiophile on Reddit. I'm not actually, but I happen to live near a hi-fi store, so I bought some fancy material.
Nice.
And so I love listening to, especially when I'm coming on a podcast, I like listening to the song on my stereo with the subwoofer.
Ooh.
And I was, hearing the layers of the song and the left to right balance of the song so well. And the thing that really stuck out to me, if you listen to the song nice and loud in the intro, obviously you're getting the sort of repeated guitar rhythm. And I love the sort of pacing of the guitar rhythm where it's got the kind of dotted quarter, like dun 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 3-3-2 sound. But then also in the background, there's this little guitar lick that's ding 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 that pops in. That it's just it's just the cherry on top, where it's just a very. There's a lot of things in this mix. It's a very well produced song, I think.
It is. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's got the comparison to Pink Floyd. It's very slickly produced. It's very it just sounds, I don't know, it was very pleasing to me. Betsy, I haven't heard a lot from you. What did you think about the song musically speaking?
Musically speaking, I think it was pretty what you guys were saying, pretty well thought out in terms of how they were layering the sounds. It really set a good tone for the message, which we'll get to later. But yeah, I mean, it really puts you in a certain headspace, and it kind of transports you away. It's a very effective mood alterer, I guess. And it's really a song you should listen to. Yeah, with headphones on or in your car as loud as you can take it, because there's a lot to catch there.
Nice. I agree. I would love to hear this in I don't know, in a planetarium or something.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
I'd also
Laser
love
show.
to hear the Beck version of this song.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
You could
God.
Beck the heck out of
I
it.
hadn't even back the heck out of it. I hadn't even thought of it, but I could totally hear it, especially. Yeah, now that you mention it, because I mean, he's done harder, kind of heavier stuff, and he's done kind of more spacey stuff, and I could hear him. I mean, he plays a million instruments. He could probably play everything himself.
And that's another fun thing about this song, especially if we consider the live rendition of it, is this is one of those songs where it's hey, all of a sudden Ed's playing drums.
He loves to play drums.
I didn't know that. That's
He
cool.
loves to play drums.
He loves to play
Mhm.
drums.
The
yeah.
Garth. I like to
Yep,
play.
whenever they do it live, they actually usually have a drum kit at the front of the stage, and Ed plays that kit instead of going back to
Mhm.
Tyler's
Nice.
drums. And then, of course, Tyler comes up front.
As he so loves to do.
Nice.
Yeah, he's really happy that,
He's
I
a
that
do.
he was
showman, yeah.
allowed to just let loose. You know, he really thanked Kevin a lot for letting him just let loose, and also for having what he called psychedelic music in the back.
It's always been interesting to me that Tyler Stewart appears to be able to do the like AC/DC Led Zeppelin voice
Yep.
as
Yeah.
like maybe as successfully as like a singer from one of those bands. Maybe he can't do it all night. He can do it like one song a night, and that's why he does
That
that.
might be.
But it's always been weird that they seem to have a guy that like has a very classic sounding voice, but he never sings.
He almost kind of does it in a jokey way too, but the fact that he can carry it off, it actually sounds really decent. So I think it's like
it's like a Jack Black
yeah,
thing.
it's like his kind of go-to singing voice. I don't think I've heard him sing any other way, but he's definitely got that little nuance.
Yeah, Tyler,
down.
you're right with the Jack Black thing because
Yeah.
what was it? High Fidelity, is that the name of the movie?
Yes. High Fidelity. I love that
With
movie.
John Cusack,
Yeah.
where he actually sings
Yeah.
and like sings with a good vocal quality voice, and it shocks the crap out of everybody. But you don't get that from Jack Black much. You get the Tenacious D, silly, crazy Jack Black, and I think you're right. I'd love to hear what Tyler could do if he really wanted, like if he was more with that serious sound. I think Betsy, you're right. Like he does it with that funny side on
But he's able to
purpose.
do it because when they're doing harmonies and he comes forward for the harmonies
Yeah.
piece, like especially during the acoustic
Yeah.
bits, he's right there.
For
You can't pick
you
his
and-
voice out
yeah.
from anyone else's. Like he's
That's-
blending.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, are you guys seeing that we're about to get kicked?
I do want to point out that Kevin wrote the guitar riff during the bridge.
Here we go. Dynamo, Dynamo, Dynamo. She's always in control. Dynamo, Dynamo. Someone's in the kitchen with Dynamo. Dynamo, Dynamo, Dynamo. Knocking me down like domino.
Ed also
Nice,
points
nice.
out the amazing job that he loves hearing Kevin singing in the low register, which we get in this song.
Oh, and it's hard to sing along to. Every
You have to bottom out.
time that I look at her smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes really low.
Kevin's like,
A
I
little
can go
growl.
down this low. Can you? Well, with that being said, that's all of my notes musically. So what I will do at this point is I'm going to have the audience listen to a commercial, and we will be back in a minute.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the
Okay.
kitchen.
I didn't realize this podcast has sold out.
Yep.
Oh.
We're
Oh.
breaking in the dough.
Oh,
Welcome back. And what I have down here is that where this song came from is that Kevin was having a bunch of guitar riffs that he really liked, and he kind of melded them all together, but he didn't have any lyrics. And then he was on a retreat in Hawaii, not California, but I'm
Sea
not
of
sure
Cortez.
why he decided. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, what are you talking about, Kevin? And he read an article in the paper about the internal dynamo of the moon.
Oh,
I will be
interesting.
putting that article into the liner notes for this week, because yes, indeed, like I have about the right time that this came out, and around that time there was an article about the internal dynamo of the moon, which I can go into more, and that's what he wrote the lyrics about while laying on a beach looking up at the moon. But again, he wrote it in Hawaii, and he includes the Sea of Cortez, which is the sea off the coast of California and Mexico, usually referred to as the Gulf of Mexico. It's the inlet that goes between California, the lower part of California, the part of Mexico that is considered to be kind of a Baja California and regular Mexico, and the part that when explorers went up through it actually didn't go all the way up far through it, so they actually thought that area was a island, and on all maps at that time actually designated it as an island, the island of California.
Tracy, I'm going to posit that you are on a mission to make sure that I can't have fun, because I had assumed that this song was about the sun, because the sun is a dynamo. It's a giant engine. It's an eons-long explosion which generates energy internally and emits gamma radiation. The spacey soundscapes send a reference to being above the Sea of Cortez. When I think of California, I think of the sun. But you know that most of that applies to the moon, in as much as the moon does have a dynamo. It used to have, I think, a magnetosphere, and I think it actually bounces gamma radiation off of it as well as visible light, and it might actually.
Damn it! Yes.
Yeah. So, now that you mention it, I was going to reference the sun as a massive incandescent gas. They might be giants, but you cut me off at the pass. So now I'm just gonna say I don't know, Moonlight Sonata, Claire de Lune.
Yep. No, the article that he was reading about talked about how the moon used to have an internal dynamo or a melted core that kind of created a magnetic field, and that magnetic field was actually stronger than the Earth's magnetic field back then.
Interesting.
And then it fused and it became solid about a billion years ago, which led to the loss of the magnetic field. And the moon's core is hypothesized to be made completely.
That sounds so metal.
At this time.
No.
Is that why the center of this song
Much like
sounds metal?
Right. Yeah.
And then the rest
I think
of it
so.
sounds dusty on the outside of it.
Yeah.
I think so.
And spacey.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And to answer your question about the gamma radiation,
yes,
the moon actually does, in fact, let off gamma radiation. Well, it
Speaking of Beck, hit me like a gamma ray.
Yeah, great song. Beck, we know you listen. Please come on the show.
It's what I found was when cosmic rays hit the moon's surface, they are called the regolith, and they interact with the moon's heavier.
The regolith is. I thought that was the. I thought the regolith was the dust on the surface of the moon. Was it not?
Yes, that's sorry. I misread that. Yes.
Okay.
So the regolith is the moon's surface, and so when the cosmic rays bounce off from the regolith, it reacts with the moon's heavier elements and the natural radioactive nucleotides, and it produces gamma rays. So the moon actually creates gamma rays. And the lack of an atmosphere in the magnetic field allows the cosmic rays of all the energies to reach the surface much more, which makes it a useful space-based particle detector. And the moon absorbs most of those gamma rays, but some of them escape.
I thought Cosmic Rays was the restaurant in Disney's Magic Kingdom.
Kind of funky.
Where Sunny Eclipse plays.
It is. It's in Fantasyland.
Nice. Wow. Now I want to go back to Disney.
Tomorrowland. That's
it's in
Tomorrowland. Starlight
Tomorrowland.
Cafe featuring Sunny Eclipse.
Yes.
That's right. And I always go there to buy French fries to eat during the fireworks. I prefer that to popcorn. I'll get some French fries from Cosmic Rays and go and watch the fireworks.
One of my ensembles
highly recommended.
My jazz band played at Cosmic Rays. They
played with Sunny Eclipse?
No.
Imagine Sunny Eclipse teaming up with Mac tonight. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my Lanta.
But no, I mean, like, yeah. So okay, I guess I wasn't too far off with the sun, but thank you. That's very good to know that it's about the moon. I will say my favorite lyric. Now that we're talking about the lyrics, can anyone guess my favorite lyric
You
of this
wouldn't like
song?
me when I'm funky.
I love that, but it's someone's in the kitchen with dynamo.
Yep.
It especially sung with
Yes.
such power and conviction.
Right.
You know, it very much. I don't know. It just made me laugh. It reminded me of. I don't know if any of you are Homestar Runner fans. Well, I know at least one of you. One of the running
Yes.
gags in Homestar Runner was a hair metal band called Limousine, and it just reminded me of a Limousine song. That like hair metal kind of like bridge there. Someone's in the kitchen with dynamo is definitely something that Limousine would have sung. So it just made me laugh.
I mean, it's a
Yeah,
nice little
yeah.
play on the
Oh
old
yeah, I was
song.
looking it up. Okay, so someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. What's that?
Yeah,
Someone's in the
that's from I've been
kitchen,
working on the
I
railroad, right?
know.
I've been working on the
In the
railroad.
kitchen, I
And
know.
then-
It is.
Whoa.
Someone's in the
And then they
kitchen.
rhyme it.
And then, of course-
they do the
Go ahead.
inversion with domino, knocking
Yep.
me down like
Mm.
dominoes, which is the rhyme that you're waiting the whole song for, I guess.
Yeah.
We won't do that rhyme. We're going to do this.
I didn't know that
instead.
dynamo was a real word.
Yeah,
So
I
a
mean,
label
Hey,
maker.
oh, no, that's
yeah, I mean, I normally that's the thing. 'Cause I know dynamic from music.
Mhm.
You know, like musical dynamics is usually talking about the volume or amplitude. But you know, you can also call something dynamic as being like, you know, very much over
Or
here, then I'm over there. You
dynamic
know, very,
personality.
very,
Moving, yeah.
expansive, bombastic.
Ooh.
But the only
Word.
time the only thing that I associate with the word dynamo is the Running Man. There was an opera singer
Yes.
guy who had like a colander on his head and a bunch of Christmas
Yes.
lights,
My
and he could like
God.
shoot lightning.
How did I
Yeah.
miss this?
Arnold, we know you listen. Come on the show.
I just watched that again not long ago.
That's
and
a
I was
great
like,
movie. It
I
holds
wonder
up.
if they
It holds
remade
up.
it. It does hold up.
Yeah.
It's not anywhere close to the
Richard
the
Dawson
short
is
That's
story.
great.
right. It,
However,
it's
it does
Stephen
hold up.
King.
Yeah, for real.
Like
Richard Dawson's
Bachman
hilarious
book.
in that. I love how he just really swings for the fences.
I would
with that
use
one.
the word dynamo to describe like a hot baseball player.
He's a
Yeah.
dynamo.
Dynamo.
You got to sign him now. He gets on
Yeah.
base.
Mhm.
And then you tuck really fast.
So we should
thought
probably
we
talk
did.
about what a dynamo
Something
really
about
means.
electricity.
It's like an engine. It's something that generates power. One.
Yeah, it's short for a dynamo electric machine, which creates
Yeah, but remember,
power. It's like a
machine
generator.
is a very when people think machine, they think this metal thing, right? Like yes, you call a coal engine a
No,
steam
but it
engine
could
is a
be.
dynamo, but also we are machines. The sun is a machine. According to science,
Right.
according
And
to
we are
science, a
dynamos
wedge
in that we are.
is a machine.
It's a
Hey,
simple
I don't
machine.
Make the rules.
From
It
what I
is.
understood of the Google that I did and
right.
listening to you guys, the internal dynamo here involves some sort of convection of liquid.
I saw that too. I saw that definition.
And that was almost more lined up with what Tracy said earlier, where the song is kind of a churning system where it's like cool on the
Nice.
outside and hot in the middle.
Yeah, you could almost think of yourself as like if we zoom in, you know, we're in outer space and we zoom in on the moon, we're getting closer and closer. At the beginning, we're quite far away. Everything's very peaceful and serene. It's like 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then as we get closer and closer, it starts to get hotter and hotter. And then we pierce through the regolith into the core. And maybe this is the ancient moon. This is not so long after it supposedly bounced off of the Earth and reformed with parts of the Earth. And there's this dynamic, bubbling, hot liquid magma iron core, and that's the internal dynamo.
Would you guys say that this song is more or less scientifically accurate than the Big Bang Theory theme?
I'd say Big Bang Theory theme is more accurate because the moon no longer has.
I mean, I would
internal
say
dynamo.
it's. I wouldn't
So
say
it's
it's a
not
question of
everywhere she
accuracy. I
goes.
say it's a question of specificity. You know, I think that the Big Bang is much more general. and as much as like how we're all here in a very general sense, and then this is a very specific song about the internal mechanism that the moon potentially used to
It's
have.
dynamic, comma,
It
gamma
is.
radiation, comma, you wouldn't like me when I'm funky. And that's Ed singing, right? There's a little Ed bit in the middle.
I thought
Yeah,
it was Ed.
I did hear him sing,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm not sure if it was that one.
Tyler definitely
It
towards
sounds
the
like
end
Ed.
of that section, but
But when
Is it
they're
just
doing
Tyler?
it in concert, it is
Interesting.
definitely
I don't
Tyler
remember
doing
from the
it in
concert.
concert.
But no Jim.
I wonder if
Yeah, there's several videos of it, and you can as Tyler is coming out from behind the drums, he's singing.
I have
that
to
part
ask
leading up to
statistics,
his
man.
also.
How many times have they performed this live? Because I'm very curious.
Set list
Oh, I caught you off
FM.
guard for a
It
moment.
sounded, I mean, it seems like on that tour, was it last year or 2 years ago when they were making people up? No, was it the tour where they were like really doing the Detour DeForce song, or was it last year where they were like,
would have
we can
been-
loosen it up? But by loosening up, they were playing songs like Man-Made Lake and Internal Dynamo, which we haven't talked about yet. The progression on the album. Because the album goes, I mean, the original version of the album goes from Man-Made Lake to Internal Dynamo, which is great because Man-Made Lake has an extended outro, and then Internal Dynamo has this extended intro. So it becomes this very curious thing. The extended outro of Man-Made Lake, though, almost wants me to like get a song with like a quicker, with like a more sudden bang. Like whenever you hear a long outro of a Bare Naked Ladies song, you almost want the next song to be She's on Time.
Yeah, balance it
But
out.
no, but the slow ending to slow start is great. But then on the deluxe edition of Detour DeForce, for some reason, they have a different song that goes in between Man-Made Lake and Internal Dynamo, which is the Kevin like piano song that's only on the deluxe edition.
Oh, the special one that
which is called
we discussed
Way of the Heart, which is like a sweet little 3/4 piano song, but not worth putting in the middle there. I don't know what they were thinking.
No, that's not a good place for that one.
Anyway,
and this is a good ender to the album. So that's kind of odd. They have played this song 38 times in concert, all of them in their 2020 tour.
2020?
Sorry, 2022. 2022.
Nobody toured in 2020. Yep.
That's why they played it so many times. They're like, no one's here. We can do this all the time.
Well, I just asked because I would like to see this performed live. It very much has this kind of similar energy to Frankenstein by Edgar Winter. You know, especially towards the end of that bridge section. You know, that melody has got this weird. I don't know.
Aaron, you did see this live.
Did they play this when we were there? I didn't know the song yet.
You were probably just like, whoa, what was that weird, cool song they did in the middle there?
I think
that was really weird and different, but whoa.
Again, it is weird that Jim doesn't sing in the song because it seems like there's a setup here where it's like, let's get a little bit of everyone in this song.
Yeah.
Not Jim.
Well, we know Jim's going to want to vent and come on the show. So come on, Jim. Tell us how you feel about not being singing on this song.
I do want to point out a couple of lines that we have not yet talked about. Caught in a tractor beam, obviously kind of interesting because the moon is caught in the Earth's gravitational pull and orbits us. And I like the float, like, light as a feather, because it does kind of appear that it's floating out there when it's such a heavy mass. And the line that we went over really quickly, but I would say it's probably one of my favorites in the song, is the "You wouldn't like it when I'm funky," which I really love that Hulk reference. This is about the time also that they recorded this. Is about the time that they were recording the album that Kevin kind of inspired and pulled a bunch of artists into, of recording all the older intros and music for different comic book themes. So they did all like the Wonder Woman theme, and they did the Batman theme. They had all these different bands do this to raise money for and I'm sure that we'll cover at some point like 10 years down the road. But yeah, so it was around this time, and like him inserting this is kind of great. But like that's a really super famous line from the TV show, from the 70s TV show. It was so famous that, you know, Banner would tell the people, "You wouldn't like me when I'm angry," that they actually put it into the intro of the show.
I just looked up Kevin Hearn's Spotify, and he has an album with Hugh Marsh, "Dreaming of the '80s." Is that any good?
Mhm.
I haven't read a lot about that. I haven't listened to that.
All
one
right.
a
I haven't
lot, I should
either.
say.
I love cover songs, and I'm seeing "Love Will Tear Us Apart" and "Heaven," which I'm assuming is Talking
Ooh.
Heads. So I'm down for that. I'm a big Nouvelle Vague fan. If you guys have never listened to the French bossa nova jazz cover band
With
that
Hugh
only
Marsh.
plays 80s songs, new wave songs. So check that out if you're interested.
Cool.
So this is that intro from the Hulk.
I missed the whole.
Dr. David Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation alters his body chemistry. And now when David Banner grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs. The creature is driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter.
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
The creature is wanted for a murder he didn't commit. David Banner is believed to be dead, and he must let the world think that he is dead until he can find a way to control the raging spirit that dwells within him.
Speaking of internal dynamo, like in the background, you actually have like this like really soft, cool like jazz thing going on. And then in the background, you have these drum.
Bongos in that are killer.
I'm just can't get over the fact that they said David Banner.
Yeah.
That was really interesting because my brain earlier in our conversation had clocked like, oh, gamma radiation, like that's the Hulk thing.
Yeah, I was thinking the Hulk. Yeah, for sure.
But then my brain hadn't realized that the "you wouldn't like me when I'm blank" line is the Hulk line. So
You wouldn't like me when I'm funky. Yeah.
for some reason,
Yeah,
that just
for
hadn't
sure.
connected.
You wouldn't like me when I'm funky.
Also, I really liked in that intro, it said, driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter. Like you had this like weird,
A reporter.
you had this weird like middle voice, like driven, like he's like it's internal to himself, and then it's pursued, which is like a passive voice thing. So it's almost a weird like big like sometimes you get this figure of speech that arguably could be called zeugmatic, but other people probably wouldn't.
Good word.
Zoogmatic.
And
Isn't that like something that what's his name? Mr. Popeye would have Popeo would have marketed in the 80s. It's the
For the slap chop.
zeugma is a
Yeah.
literary device, but it's more of like a pun as a literary device. I can't describe it perfectly right now.
It definitely does sound like it could slice and dice something in
No,
the
what you're
kitchen.
saying. Yeah, poor Dinah.
Or Zoom.
But Dinah,
Or it sounds like a keyboard that Kevin would play. Oh wait,
The Zoom.
That's Zignon
The
5.
Zoom 9000.
The
The Annihilator
Zoogzaphone.
2000. Sorry, that was a reference to Beverly Hills Cop 3. The Annihilator 2000.
I was rereferencing the Bare Naked Ladies pilot
Oh God. Oh
episode
jeez.
of their TV show where Kevin leans into his synth and goes,
Zignon 5.
Yeah.
"Listen to them, Zignon 5."
Big 9 to 5.
So,
Well,
what are we
how
rating this? Zoogmatics?
How many moons do we want to give this song?
Well, it's got a lot of moons going on, let me tell
The
you.
full moon.
I mean, is this like a Saturn or is this like a Jupiter?
How many-
which moon are we
How many
heading for
pressed
here?
hams?
Oh,
Nice. Butts.
of course
Yay.
it had to go there. Well, Betsy, since you've been relatively quiet for a little bit, how many moons would you give this song?
Well, it's a good song, but it's not anything that I'm like actively seeking out. So I'd have to say they did a good job with like layering all the instrumentation, and it's kind of quirky and witty. So I guess I'd give it like a 3.7. Yeah.
Good score.
Hey,
Wow.
3.7. Okay. What about you, Heidi?
This song I think is better live. I think it sounds great with headphones on, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not one on my go-to list. It really, the first time I heard it, I bought the vinyl, which is really cool, by the way, because it's cool color and everything. But it's one of those songs that I was just like, what is happening right now? It's like 3 songs in one. It's like, oh, you've got that way long trumpet jazz intro kind of thing, and then it goes into that like ethereal Kevin Hearn, and then it goes into this ragey, like rappy Led Zeppelin kind of thing, and then so I was like, what are they trying to do in this song? And it reminded me of Spinal Tap when they do their jazz, they go into their jazz phase for a bit, because you're like, what is it? But the more I listen to it, I really like what they're doing with it musically. Like, I like the theremin, I like the layering. I love that blue color. So I have a love-hate relationship with this song, but I love it live for some strange reason. I really
Tyler's the best part
because
of it
Tyler
live. Yeah.
really brings the energy to the front. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why I like it so much live, Betsy. So I'm kind of in Betsy's camp. I'm going to give this a 3.5.
Wow.
3.5. Okay. All right. What about you, Aaron?
Well, this is a tough one because honestly, I really dig this song. Like any latter day BNL song that is something kind of different and outside of the norm has an advantage in winning me over. And it features a theremin, so the song's already starting from a position of power. Add in the fact it's got some jazzy, bluesy stuff going on, the muted trumpet, and I think, you throw in Someone's in the Kitchen with Dynamo. I kind of love this song. You know, it's tough. I'm tempted to want to put it on my best of playlist because it is certainly a song that I would want to include if I were maybe not my best of playlist, but if I were making a playlist of songs to kind of demonstrate to someone who really hadn't dug into the catalog their range, I would want to put this on there so they would see like, okay, they're all over the place. They're doing really interesting stuff in this direction. They're doing stuff in that direction. But yeah, I don't know. Because like I like this song. I'm not sure how frequently I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I really need to listen to it. So it's definitely above average. It's definitely, I would say, maybe not quite in the 4s. And I was just looking up. I was going to say, like 3 moons and a 3753 Carina, but like that is a really, really tiny object that qualifies as an asteroid. So it's not quite. That wouldn't quite represent how I feel. I just discovered, because I looked it up, that Pluto is approximately 2/3 the size of the moon or the diameter of the moon. So why don't we say 3.66 moons or 3 lunas and 1 Pluto?
Wow.
Wow, that was scientific.
I aim to please.
And Tyler, I know you don't want to have to put a number to this, but you know what? I'm asking you to.
That was
What?
good. That was good.
Can you give us a rating?
What? I don't understand the joke though.
Let's see.
Well, next week's song is I'm asking you to.
Oh, okay. I didn't
There's always a
realize there
setup.
was a setup here.
Stretch
He's
Armstrong
always
over here.
It was good. I was good. It was good.
Oh, come on. That was a good setup. I was actually hoping that Bitsy earlier would say, like, I really don't
Take
know
one for
what
the
I don't
team.
want to go this time. So I was like, I was set for it, but she didn't give me a hard
I
time.
was going to, but then I'm like, I'll just.
For reference, Zeugma, Zeugma, is a figure of speech in which a word applies to two others in different senses, such as John and his license expired last week, or to two others of which it semantically suits only one, such as with weeping eyes and hearts.
I like it.
My high school Latin teacher showed us a clip of like a British sitcom where someone asked, "How long will the train be?" And the conductor at the station goes, "Oh, about 400 feet."
That's a pretty short train.
Yeah, sorry, it's arbitrary number. But yes, how long will my rating be?
Ever
long?
long.
How long?
Nice.
Um,
Dave, we know you listen. Come on the show.
my initial, I mean, this, I have the situation where I always ask to come on for these episodes because I like the songs, and I think the sort of the hand-in-hand combo with Man-Made Lake, which I probably rated a 5 a few weeks ago. I'm gonna give this one 4.5 moons because why not?
Nice.
I think it's part of a duo, which is the strongest stuff of this album, Detour DeForce, and this era of Bare Naked Ladies. And I wish they would do more of it.
Agreed.
For sure.
Agreed. 100%.
It's definitely playing to their strengths of like the Steve-less Bare Naked Ladies. Like this is what they are capable of without him.
We miss you, Steve.
I mean, Steve did Infinitely Light Years and stuff, so it's not crazy for
That's
him to be able
true.
to do it.
We're gonna come to the Steve version of this song, which is Infinite Light Years. I like this song. I think it's good. I think it's done well. Like it's not badly produced. It's well produced. I like the album version because of the trumpets, but I also love hearing it in concert just because there is that live quality to it that gives it a little bit of extra pizzazz, especially seeing Tyler come out and being so dynamic. And but I can't say I love this song. I can't say it's on any of my playlists. If it comes on, I'll play it. Matter of fact, if it's on the album, like if I'm listening through to the album, I'll definitely always keep it on. But I'm not going to sing along with it. It's I want to say it's good chill music, but then again, in the middle you have this big like break. I can't like play this in the middle of a session to kind of chill things out. It wouldn't work that well. But I still like it in the car. So I'll give it a 3.62.
In the car. I still like it in the car, Tracy says. It was mostly mutual.
Radiation.
Nice. All right. No more puns, everyone.
Yeah,
I know it's hard, but I'm asking you to.
Well,
heard you.
Well, even
the first time.
Betsy's stopped defending you after that one.
So come back next week when we discuss the song I'm asking you to. Tyler, thank you for joining us again.
Thanks for having me. If you are listening to this in hopefully the next couple weeks, maybe in the past now, High School Musical 3 on my podcast, Wildcat Minute, produced by the Amateur Nerds, will be done. We will have finished all of the High School Musical trilogy 1 minute at a time. Over 300 episodes of Troy Bolton content.
Bet on it.
You can bet on it.
Nice.
You sound so excited to be done.
What?
Nice.
Are you asking Disney to make another one?
Well, there is the series, and then there's also the spin-off movie Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. But I don't think we're going to do either of those minute by minute.
Betsy's giving me the look of don't
What hath we
take
wrought?
the pun further.
But thank you for having me. It's been great to
Yeah,
join
it's
you
good
guys
to
as
talk to you,
always.
Taylor. All right.
All right.
Peace out, y'all.
I
Waterproof records are your unsinkable tunes from the past, present, and future. What's up, everyone? I'm Jacob Givens, the host of Waterproof Records podcast. So what exactly is a waterproof record? Let's go back in time for a moment to when you were a teenager, and it's the first time you heard an album that would change you forever. Whether you're a musician, and it was the reason you picked up an instrument and started a band, or if you're just a music lover, it's the album that made you who you are to this day. You'll tell people that your life wouldn't be the same without it. It changed your DNA. So join me on the podcast where I do deep dives on some of the most influential and important albums in my life. And other times I welcome guests on the show to talk about their musical journeys and what they consider to be their waterproof record. It's time to wax nostalgic with Waterproof Records with Jacob Givens.